Welcome to the Great American Collectibles Show, brought to you each week by the National Sports Collectors Convention. Join us every Wednesday evening at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and get the latest news from the greatest experts in the sports collectibles world. You can watch us on the Great American Collectibles Facebook page, as well as YouTube, or you can listen to us on Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, or any of your favorite podcast platforms. And now your hosts, award-winning sports collectibles author Tom Zappola and Boston sports media personality John Mallory.
Boys, how are you?
What a crew we have today, Zap.
I mean, seriously, and I'm not kidding. Of the four of us, I am by far the best-looking guy on camera right now. Wouldn't you agree? Seriously.
What? I still want to know what awards you won. What is best selling?
Oh, please, Derek,
award?
don't even start with that.
Would you like me to walk you? Would you like me to walk you through the awards, Derek?
I just want to know who's presenting and who competed. I mean, it
Well,
sounds like there's
when we wrote our 7 best-selling collectibles books, we won the Ben Franklin Award, which is the largest independent book award on the planet. We
several of them, Zach.
No, we won 7 of them. Of
7,
which
yeah.
3 were gold medals.
Yeah.
2 silvers.
Don't even talk about the silver.
All right. Well, Calvin and I have a book. See how
and a
easy
bronze.
this Ben Franklin thing is.
And
we did get a bronze.
Welcome to the Great American Collectibles Show. Tom Zapp, my good friend and co-host Johnny Mallory is up in Boston.
Yep.
We are thrilled. We've got 2 really good guests. One
Absolutely.
of which we're very, marginal about liking him. But Calvin Arnold is with us.
I'm not dead yet.
From REA
Oh,
Auctions. and this guy has been gone a long time, and we joke a lot.
Yeah.
But we are thrilled that our good friend Derek Grady from Heritage Auctions is back with us. Derek, how are you, brother?
Doing okay. Just catch everybody up. So on Father's Day, I feel just a weird sharp pain in what I thought was my kidney area. And I had just had a physical, and my kidneys were like great. So I didn't understand what was happening. So I decided, you know what, it's annoying enough to go in and get it checked. And I go in and I go into the ER in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. And, they're like, what's your pain level? And I said, it's a 1 or a 2, but there's something wrong. And needless to say, they really didn't want to do a CT scan, but they did. And they came back and they found a mass on my psoas muscle, which turned out to be a germ cell tumor, which turned out to be malignant. It's cancer, obviously. So had to go through.
Now, this is in your stomach, Derek?
It's on the psoas muscle.
Okay.
A very rare, you rarely used muscle. It's like does nothing, but was keeping my tumor in place. So I guess I did that. So anyway, so I did 4 rounds of chemo, which knocks you on your ass, and then I'm done with that, and it worked tremendously.
How long was it? How long did that last? Couple of months?
It was a few months because chemo pretty much gobbles up everything, so it eats your blood. You need a blood transfusion.
Right.
If you have no immune system, so I got strep throat that delayed it, and then I got some sinus infection, and that delayed it. So just getting it in was a pain, but I got it all in, and I have surgery on January 22nd just to remove the rest. So
okay, so basically they've gotten it to where it is now, so they can get in there and get the goddamn thing out of there.
That's correct. Knock on wood, hasn't spread. It's been contained. Germ cell cancer is in the family of testicular cancer, which is curable. There's very few things they'll say is curable. Testicular cancer is one of them. If you look at Lance Armstrong, he actually had it in his brain. He had it everywhere, and he's cured. So they will cure. And the chemo is it's harsh, but it works.
Well, listen, go ahead, John.
No, I was just going to say you look great. First of all, and I say that I'm not being sarcastic. The sarcasm will come as the show moves on.
Of course. Yeah.
But you do look great. And I just want to emphasize, especially with guys, you feel a weird pain, right? Like something, and like you said, it was different, right? It was different. It wasn't a stomach ache. It's just like nobody wants to do it because everyone wants to be tough.
Yep.
But as we get up there a little bit, I'm older than you, Derek, but you're not that far behind. Like, just get it checked, right? I mean,
It's
just
worth
get
it
it checked
because
out. It's worth it, right?
because
Yeah,
if I would have went to my primary, odds are he would have said it's musculoskeletal,
right.
and then I go to physical therapy or try a chiropractor, and then that kicks it weeks and weeks and weeks down the road.
Yeah,
And it really wasn't it was a pain that every guy would never go to the doctor for.
yeah,
I only reason I did was because I literally felt an internal pain. I've never felt a sharp pain in my kidneys before, so I thought I had in fact, I thought I had something. I just wanted a CT scan, and that's the one thing we really don't offer with physicals in the United States is you get a CT scan. Well, I
right.
did get one, and they discovered a mass, which again, had I not got that, this thing could have grew to the size of a melon or something, and
Yeah.
and I caught it when it was the size of a fist.
Hey, let's bring in Calvin. Calvin, you guys are old friends. You guys worked together, didn't you?
Yeah, absolutely. We worked together for about 6 years.
And where was that, Cal?
2012 to 2018.
Okay, and that was before then they fired him, let him go,
Yeah,
and right, pretty much.
to bring
No,
back,
no, no. I've been at Heritage. Calvin worked with us, and then
I know.
you know, I guess REA needed a janitor, and Calvin was available, and
Wow, this is
but
this is a tough room. This is a very
no,
tough
listen,
room.
Calvin's a good guy. We're good friends, and he's and the reason we're good friends is because he's an honest,
No,
hardworking,
we've had, and
Because
let me tell you,
expert
because
in the hobby.
opposites attract, right?
that's
Yes,
right.
yes,
Hey,
exactly.
Calvin, you guys, I went onto your new website, man. How long had that thing been in the works?
yeah, that's been in the works for quite some time. As the company continues to grow and move forward. We wanted to update and modernize our site, and things that we hadn't had an update to our site for as long as I've been there, and quite honestly, I don't think we've had an update since the very beginning. So we wanted to bring it into the 21st century. We wanted to make it more interactive, more fun, more conducive for bidders and consigners alike. So yeah, it's been in the works for a bit, and we're excited about launching it.
And I
Has
think they
the
have a link to the Heritage website too on their new site. So
I'm
I
sure
think
they
if you
do.
click on that, it goes
That's a
right
good
to our.
idea, Derek.
Yeah,
That's
that's
a
a
great
great
idea.
idea.
Yes, it's good for traffic.
In front of your building out here in Texas and receive consignments. So yeah, I mean,
It's even better. I like.
Well, we must have been
Hey
out to
Zap.
lunch or
Hey
something
Zap.
together.
Can you
Yeah.
and I we can go. I think we could just turn off
Sit
everything
back.
and
I'm gonna go
just
get.
let
I have
just
some
let
peanuts.
these two roll on this one, right?
Hey, Derek. Calvin. I do have a question for you. Do you guys have a new website address, or is it the same address?
yeah, no, we have a new website address. It's bid.collectrea.com.
Really?
Bid.collectrea.com.
It's a new domain name.
Yeah, that's correct.
So
So
if I
if
have that marked, I got to change it. Okay.
you're going to enter into the auction, obviously the old site will redirect to the new
Oh,
site.
okay.
Right.
Okay. By the way, later on in the show, Bob Broadwater from Collectibles Insurance Services is going to be joining us. Every year we bring Bob in at around this time because just to make sure that all of you folks out there have your memorabilia cards, all that good stuff, your collectibles insured. Then in the second, as a matter of fact, you can stick around, Cal, because we last week we launched and we got a hell of a lot of great feedback. The great
Eight people said something. Go ahead.
the great AI GAX baseball tournament.
I think hell of a lot means 10, Derek. So.
Okay.
What we did last week is we launched our first game, and just we're going to go over it later on, but real quickly, what we did. This is an AI generated little thing that we're doing that was my son-in-law Dan. I call him Dan, the baseball savant. He kind of put this all together for us, and these were what we're considering and what AI considers the 16 greatest baseball teams of all time. And last week, the number one seed, 1927 Yankees, played the number 16 seed, 1955 Brooklyn Dodgers, and lo and behold, the Yankees won 7-5, I believe the score was.
I
So
think
we're
it was
gonna go over that.
7-6.
7-6. This week, This week, a great game. We have the 1906 Chicago Cubs versus the 1929 Philadelphia Athletics. And the game was played. We have the results, and we'll go through that later on. All right, so now let's get to our boys first, Derek. And again, Calvin, just jump in. All right. Derek, you're okay now, but you got to do us a favor. I'm begging you to do me one favor. Take the hat
Is it
off.
going to be weird?
You got to take the hat off.
Come on,
for
Derek.
everybody?
Yeah, absolutely.
Shaved
Love it.
head. Well,
love
no,
it.
it's coming back. See,
You look
that's the
great.
one thing.
I think
So-
you should. I think you should consider keeping it like that.
Well, thanks. No, I may. I'm going to let it come in a little bit longer. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll consult with my beauticians and my, modeling people. And
Are those the same people that give you the massage?
No, that's different. But my staff, we'll let you know. But
Can
no,
those
it's,
people do anything
that was
about your
hard.
face?
So you lose every. No, I can't. No, my face is going to remain. But it really does take all your hair everywhere. Yeah, chemo does do that, but it does come back. Yeah, even my eyebrows start.
By the way, unlike mine, which is gone forever.
Well, you do look like a chemo patient, so I mean, you have a little bit more energy. Yeah, a little white there. You need look at Zap. He's got more tan.
Well, yeah, but I'm Sicilian and
Yeah,
I'm in the sun.
and
in
he's
Florida.
also in Florida, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I have like zero
Okay.
tan
I think the
lines.
show.
I got
Can
no
we
tan
afford to
lines.
send Mallory down there to get a little bit of a tan?
I haven't seen the sun since October.
Actually,
Yeah.
the weather actually has been turning a bit, so it's been good. Hey, Derek, I'm going to ask both of you guys. First, you, Derek, a recap of 2024. Happy with the results? I mean, you guys had some blockbuster.
Oh, I mean, yeah. I mean, I might, if I was thinking about hanging it up, you hang it up after our platinum night auction that did, $63 million. I mean, Calvin knows. I mean, at what point it was a chore to get to $10 million for a platinum night auction, then $20 million, $60 million just hit it out of the park. I think the one before that, may have been like 33 million. When you have a Ruth Called Shot jersey and you have the Joe Jackson bat and you have a Jackie jersey and an Aaron rookie jersey, all those items in that auction, I mean, it was just stellar across the board. And to be honest, it's you do something like that, and we're building right now as we speak. It's in
How do you top it? How do you
but
top
we
it?
don't, and that's why it's hard when we talk about it. Because we're building the February Platinum Night auction right now. Consignment deadline is passed. Other than maybe we jam in another six-figure item or so, but I mean it's very, very difficult. And so we'll do, it's going to do 20 to 30 million, but again, nothing like that. That
Right.
was an anomaly. But I mean, we understand that, but I mean, we still work super hard, but you can't just, just say, hey, let's just add another Ruth jersey. Let's just add another Jackie Robinson
Yeah,
jersey, Joe Jackson. I
right.
mean, that was just an insane auction. It was good for the
Right.
hobby. Our national display, I think, was really good for the hobby. I mean, it was a lot of people said it was the best booth they've ever seen.
That was really cool. That was
So that's
very
going to be.
cool.
You want to talk about putting on? Keep in mind too, we had the ruby slippers in that booth, which
Right.
is the world record for a collectible. Really,
Yeah.
like 32 million for an entertainment item anyway. But I mean, that blew past. So at Heritage, we had the record was the Mantle 9.5 card for a couple years.
Right.
And that was what 12.6 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then the Called Shot jersey beats that. That doesn't even last a year, and then we sold this ruby slippers estimated at 5 million, and they go for like 32 million.
That's
Wow.
crazy, man.
Yeah,
Crazy.
we've been hitting it on in all cylinders at Heritage this past year. It's been an amazing year between sports, entertainment, comics, coin. I mean everything. So we had a record year at Heritage overall. But yeah, it's looking good starting in 2025.
I want to just jump in, and both you guys here, Calvin and Derek, because you said something that kind of struck me, Derek, and that is that, how do you top it? And to a certain extent, your business, you're in control of it. I'm sure you guys are proactive, going out, looking for things, whatever, but a lot of it is out of your control. It's what comes your way.
It's true.
Right?
Very
I mean,
true.
so can you just talk about that as you look to sort of project and set goals for 2025, that kind of aspect of the game? We can start with you, Derek, and then Calvin, I'd like you to answer that as well.
When you're building auctions, so we have our loyal clients, I'm sure Calvin without making much effort and me without making much effort, we have our loyal clients that give us stuff for every catalog sale. And but when you did those big items, it's almost, I have items in my collection that I'm not selling unless I get a strong retail number that I just don't want to throw up there for auction. And other people, for whatever reason, they want to buy other things. I tend to just throw more money in to buy other things. I don't, and I have to do better at that. When you have a collection, it's better to move some items out to move items in than just
Right.
keep using more money. And I hate selling stuff. And there's no, I'm more of, I enjoy buying more than selling. And that's, so
That's a
I'm still
problem.
in that phase. Yeah, it is. It does become a problem.
I know.
No, you can't just divine when somebody wants to sell something. It's usually those key pieces are usually for some reason. They're getting out of the hobby. They want something else. They're buying a property. You can't just snap your finger. You could tell me, hey, Derek, get a Wagner car for the next auction. You can't just do that.
Yeah, right.
Or a Ruth jersey, forget about it. There's only so many known original ones, even Jack. But I think, there's Calvin, how many Wagners are there? 60 to 80, probably.
Yeah, range, absolutely.
So they're floating around out there, but to try and get one without giving away the farm. I mean, keep in mind, competition has jumped in. I mean, there's a ton of auction companies. You got, all these other companies that came in and they're, giving away the farm to try and get an item to be their highlight. So, but, luckily they're not just getting stuff that easy either. But we tend to, get stuff without an issue. And I'm sure Calvin knows that happens with REA also. They get stuff. They've been around for a long time.
Calvin, what kind of, obviously you guys had a banner year also in 2024.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, the 2024 was a great year. We continue to build on it year over year. I think I echo the same sentiments as Derek. The hobby is growing in exponential ways. And so in order to keep up, you're constantly out there trying to surface new material, surface 6-7 figure pieces. Like Derek said, I mean, I think the higher you go up the scale in terms of value, the more difficult it becomes because you want to hang on to these pieces. People that can afford 7-figure items don't have the necessary need to sell them in up or sideways markets. So I think it becomes a bit of a challenge, but you continue to build relationships in the hobby. You continue to stay in touch with people, and you just you do the best you can as you continue to grow. But the hobby is only looking up. I mean, 2024 was great. 2025, I think, is going to be incredible. And beyond that, I mean, we're looking at a hobby that's, growing and not dying. It's eclipsing record after record, as Derek alluded to. So I think it helps the industry as a whole.
What's my favorite part about this hobby is that I'm looking at you two guys, REA, Heritage. You guys are all, I mean, you compete with each other. But you're all friends, man. You're all friends. Brian and Derek are very good friends. You and Derek are very good friends. Joe Tomasulo from Golden and you guys are good friends.
Yeah.
It's a great thing to see. I think that's Al Crisafulli from Love of the Game. Everybody gets along, even though you're competitors. I think that is like a breath of fresh air, man.
And I think, and Zap, the other thing is everyone kind of knows their business, knows their company. For some, there's a niche. For others, there's not a niche, and I think that is a great thing about it. You guys, talk about that a little bit, guys.
Well, we look, we're when again, I go back to when, Calvin was here and some of the, we've opened up a couple other offices. We've added more trade shows. We're in Canada now at trade shows. We'll probably go across the ocean at some point. It doesn't stop. I mean, and all competition does is make us work harder. I know Calvin's team does a lot of shows. We do a ton of shows. We actually have a bigger staff, so we can do more. But we have offices in Palm Beach that just opened. Obviously, New York, Chicago, Beverly Hills, and Dallas is our anchor. And we're looking to open more. I mean, we just keep getting, and then the request for shows is because there's more shows now than ever. There's more hobby stores now than ever. It's nice to see hobby stores come back. That's kind of my bellwether.
Yeah.
When you see hobby stores and ask them how they're doing and they tell me they're doing great. When I ask the show dealers how they're doing great. I mean, I know our business side of it, but I like to know the stores because, and it wasn't that long ago, I couldn't go to a store anywhere.
Right.
Without driving 30 minutes. And then if you remember in 1990 to 92, I had a store in Johnstown, PA, and I was like the third one. I was going to college full time. And by the time I graduated, there was probably 24 stores in a little Johnstown, Pennsylvania.
That's
It is
crazy.
a greater Johnstown area
I have,
between.
and I have a friend, Derek, as you're saying, and you know him, Chris Zapp, who
Yep.
started with his family. We were literally in like the eighth grade, seventh or eighth grade. They started a little store in Methuen, where I live,
He's kicking ass now.
and then the thing is, like in the 90s, they were like store you couldn't swing a cat without hitting a store.
Right.
And now
Yep.
like Chris is like he's the last one left. He's expanded. He has another store up in New Hampshire on the Seacoast. He does
Great.
very well at he's made a living and a life out of it.
Everybody
But
opened a store. It was
but
like
yeah,
pop-up,
I mean,
you know.
but there aren't many left, and I want to see that come back more too.
All right,
Yeah,
listen,
it's-
before we take a break, Derek mentioned Palm Beach, a new Palm Beach office. We are working on doing a remote from the Palm Beach office later on, maybe in mid to late February or March. I am personally going to try on the Ruby slippers, and I may
Not gonna be
broadcast.
there. They were won, you moron. Somebody won them, and no, you can't touch them.
I thought they were going to lend them to possibly for display, because if they do, I want to put them on.
But Zap,
Right.
listen, staying on the Wizard of Oz theme, I hope a house falls on you. I really
Yeah,
do.
thank you. Wow. Okay, yeah.
All right, listen, we're going to take a quick break. Calvin, you're welcome to stick around. Derek, do you mind if your competition kind of hangs with us?
I love Calvin. He's welcome to hang out. He stayed at my house.
We're going to
Calvin's
take.
a good guy.
Wait a minute. He stayed at your house?
Yeah. I think he got a French bulldog. Did Calvin? Didn't you get a French bulldog after you met Norman?
I think that's exactly how it went.
Yeah, and now he has two French bulldogs. I have none because
Okay.
Norman unfortunately passed away of cancer. But maybe he gave me the cancer before he passed away. Who knows?
Stop.
He wanted to take me with him. You know, his
Yes,
man's best
That's
friend.
great.
Calvin
listen.
has two adorable Frenchies.
We're out of
also.
hand already, JM. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We come back. I am
That
so
damn
excited
dog.
about the AI GAX baseball tournament. And then we're going to be all over the place today. We're talking Patriots. We're talking Super Bowl. We're talking Red Sox.
We got to talk a little Dallas Cowboys too. You have a coaching change
Oh,
coming up,
yeah.
Derek. So yeah,
Right, we're
Did
gonna
Jerry
take a quick
Jones
break.
leave yet? When Jerry Jones leaves, I'll be more excited.
you're right about that. Right.
Hang in there. We're going to be right back.
Not a logo, it's a
Hi,
name.
I'm Rebecca Curry, a two-time child cancer survivor, recipient, and advocate for Lucy's Love Bus. The mission of Lucy's Love Bus, 501c3 nonprofit, is to provide joy, comfort, and quality of life for the entire family of children with cancer. Since 2006, they have delivered love and comfort to over 3,000 children with cancer and their family members across New England. The dream of Lucy Grogan, an 11-year-old cancer patient, was to help kids with cancer who are suffering right now, before there is a cure, by offering free, integrative therapies like art, music, horseback riding, and many other activities. Unfortunately, Lucy passed away, but her dream lives on, and today Lucy's Love Bus is thriving.
I'm Red Sox Hall of Famer Rico Petroselli. I hope that you'll consider supporting Lucy's Love Bus and all of those children who have been stricken by cancer. The Great American Collectibles Show is partnering with Lucy's Love Bus to help these kids. Let's continue Lucy's dream. Please go to lucyslovebus.org for more information.
Since 1996, Brian Drent and the staff at Denver's Mile High Card Company have led the charge in the collectibles hobby. Mile High is a full-service dealer specializing in buying and selling cards and offers a competitive consignment program for all collectors. Whether it be their computerized want list service, appraisals, or auction services, Mile High has it all. If you've been searching for a company with a selection of high-grade vintage 1888 to 1970 baseball cards and memorabilia that shares your passion, aim high, Mile High. Go to milehighcardco.com or call 303-840-2784 for more information.
Hi, this is Dan from Memory Lane Auctions, here to remind you that the renowned Memory Lane Collectibles Company has served as a beacon of light to the collecting community for the past several decades. Indeed, folks, it has been our utmost privilege and pleasure to provide the most enthusiastic collectors with an abundance of the finest sports cards and memorabilia for America's most coveted sports personalities via our world-class auctions. Whether you choose either a private sale transaction or the auction route, Memory Lane cordially invites you to reach out to us to maximize the value of your prized possessions. Also, it is not just sales that we pride ourselves on being the best of the rest, because if you are seeking a particular keepsake for your esteemed gathering, we will be relentless in our quest to find that special piece to fulfill your collecting dreams. So no time to wait. Reach out to us today for the purposes of capitalizing on our unparalleled marketing capabilities. Simply pick up the phone and dial 877-606-5263. That's 877-606-LANE, or find us on the World Wide Web at www.memorylaneinc.com. Now is the time for your valued consignment to ultimately become another one of Memory Lane's record-setting prices.
This is Brian Drent, president of Mile High Card Company. Is your sports card and memorabilia collection properly insured? For easily replaced personal property, homeowners insurance is all most people need. But for prized possessions that you may have spent a lifetime collecting, it doesn't go nearly far enough. Collectibles Insurance Services has been insuring for over 50 years. They offer a full range of protection and a $0 deductible at an affordable rate with no appraisals required. I know because they insure my collection. If you have a minute, go to collectinsure.com and learn more about insuring your personal card or memorabilia collection.
How would you like to own the bat that was used by your favorite player when he hit that towering home run or game-winning base hit? Now look no further than JT Sports, specializing in the sale and authentication of professional game-used bats. As the official authenticators of professional model game-used bats for PSA DNA, JT Sports will guarantee the authenticity of any bat purchased from them. JT Sports also buys and sells game-worn uniforms, gloves, and baseball equipment. The unique quality of the collectible is what JT Sports is all about. Give them a call at 609-487-8003 or check them out at GameUseBats.com.
Okay, we are back, and it is time right now for the great AI GAX Baseball Tournament brought to us each week by our good friend Paul Borges and the staff at PB Collectibles, your neighborhood card shop. Go to pbcollectibles.com to purchase that special vintage card or piece of memorabilia that you have been looking for. All right. We started this last week. We got a lot of positive reviews. First thing I'll do real quickly is we have taken the 16 greatest teams of all time, and here they are. Number one, the 1927 Yankees. Number two, the 1906 Chicago Cubs. Number three, the 1975 Big Red Machine Cincinnati Reds. Number four, the 1998 New York Yankees. Number five, the 2001 Seattle Mariners. Number six, the 1939 New York Yankees. Number seven, the 1961 New York Yankees. Too many goddamn Yankee teams. Number eight, the 1984 Detroit Tigers. Number nine, the 1919 Black Sox. Number 10, the 2004 Boston Red Sox. Number 11, 42 St. Louis Cardinals. Number 12, the 86 Mets. Number 13, the 1995 Atlanta Braves. Number 14, the 1970 Baltimore Orioles. Number 15, 1929 Philadelphia Athletics. And number 16, the 1955 Brooklyn Dodgers. Last week, the results of last week's first game, as we've mentioned, the New York Yankees from 1927 defeated the 1955 Brooklyn Dodgers. So this week, the 1906 Chicago Cubs played the 1929 Philadelphia Athletics. The starting pitcher for the 1906 Cubs, three-fingered Mordecai Brown. And for the Philadelphia, who was it for the? Oh, Lefty Grove for the 29 Athletics. A good matchup. For those of you remember, the 1906 featured Tinkers to Ebers to Chance. The 1929 A's featured Jimmy Fox, Al Simmons, Lefty Grove, two great teams. Here's the breakdown of what happened. All righty, here we go. First inning. I'm not gonna mention every inning. Shut your mouth for a minute, Derek, please. Thank
We
you.
have to listen to Zap this. Okay, go
In the
ahead.
first inning, Max Bishop walked, advanced by Muehlhaus second, and then scored on a Bing Miller single, and it was 1-0 the A's. In the bottom of the first, Jimmy Sheckard reached on an infield single, but Lefty Grove fanned Frank Wildfire Schulte to end the inning. Now we're going to hop up to the 4th inning. Frank Chance doubles home Johnny Evers, and Harry Steinfeld's sacrifice fly scores Chance. The Cubs take the lead 2-1 in the 4th inning. 5th inning, Al Simmons, great Hall of Famer, doubles and scores on Miller's second RBI hit. He ties the game at 2-2. 7th inning, Jimmy Fox smashes a 2-run homer after a Haas single, and the A's jump out in front 4-2. 8th inning, Johnny Evers leads off with a single and scores on a Frank Chance double. The A's lead is now trimmed to 4-3. What happens in the 9th, Derek?
Oh boy, let's see. I'm gonna say.
Do they tie it or do they lose?
Well, hopefully they lose so we can end the segment. But that's what I'm hoping. But I don't know what you're gonna say.
Okay, boy.
I'm hoping Grove
9th
still
inning.
stays in the game, and he strikes out the side.
Very close. Very close.
Okay, this is back when pitchers could actually throw 9 innings, and we didn't have like 3 setup guys.
Yeah,
to the,
no kidding.
To the
Or a
setup
quality
guy.
start was 3 innings.
Yeah.
Very good point. 9th inning, Grove is still pitching.
Yeah.
And gets Schulte, strikes out 2 and gets Schulte on a ground out. So the A's win 4-3.
Okay.
So round 2, the 1929 Philadelphia Athletics beat the 1906 Chicago Cubs. You guys agree with that?
Yes.
I do too.
Yeah, I think that 2019 was better than that '06 Cubs team. Plus, the Cubs always lose the big game up until 2016. So
that Cubs team, I think, won about 112 games.
Yeah, it's a good team.
They had a really good team. What are your thoughts, Calvin? Who was the better team?
Yeah, I think the Athletics. But what's really perplexing me at this point is, John, how can the 2004 Red Sox be 10th, but the Mariners be 6th? What happened there?
Well, I think that they're going by the season because that Mariners team had a record-breaking. Didn't they win like 116? I don't know the exact number. I can look it up.
I have it here. Someone they won 8.
Yeah, I mean they're not going by because obviously they didn't win the championship that year.
Correct.
But but I just think they're going by the season that they had. I think this is a very just a statistical.
Oh, absolutely.
Analysis. This is AI. This is analytics.
Well, for the choice
I mean,
of the teams.
I'll be honest with you, Calvin. I don't count the 2004 Red Sox as one of the great teams of all time. I think they were a great team, meaning they were a great team together. But I think the 2018 Red Sox were better than the 2004 Red Sox.
I disagree.
In terms of talent and what they did. They won like 108 games, the Red Sox.
I don't care. I mean, think about who they had versus who
they
2004.
were a great historic team. They were a wonderful group of players.
Ortiz, Manny, Pedro, and what's his name? And Schilling. 2004.
I'm not sure they're one of the great teams of all time.
Well, who did 2008 have as pitchers?
2018.
18, I mean. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm just saying they were a better team. They won more games. They dominated all season long, which the 04 team kind of did, but they were down 3, remember they were down 3-0 in a series. So I'm not saying they shouldn't.
Right.
So what's your prediction?
They're an historic team, but
Derek, who wins this whole tournament? What's your prediction?
I mean, do you even have to know anything to say the 1927 Yankees?
I don't think I haven't seen the
like,
results. I don't think the 27
You don't need
Yankees
the results.
win.
I just gave them to you, so everybody can stop watching.
I don't think the 27 Yankees win. I think the 61 Yankees are going to give them a hell of a fight.
I'll tell you, don't. And since I hate this, we're talking so much Yankee, but
I know
the '98 Yankees,
good team.
I'm telling you that they could have a say in things.
Right,
and let me give you a dark horse for this one.
Go ahead.
The '84 Tigers.
What
about the
1984 Detroit Tigers?
Really? What about the Big Red Machine?
At all?
What
and
about
the Big Red Machine,
right?
which is the best team I ever saw, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I remember the '84 Tigers, but You know, Zap remembers the 27 Yankees. He was in the stands.
Well,
I
let
know he
me
was
tell
a
you something.
toddler, but he was
This-
there as a toddler.
It was
The
there.
75 Reds conceivably could have been the greatest team of all time, but they didn't have a great pitching staff. They had Don Gullett.
They
He was
had
their big guy.
serviceable pitchers, right?
Yeah, they
yeah.
didn't do much
Yeah.
on the pitching end of it.
Yeah, they didn't have
Anyway.
a stud. They didn't have a stud.
All right,
no.
so Derek, you lost your head coach. What's going on?
Oh, you know, it's overdue.
Let's go into a deep
Let's-
dive
let's-
analysis of the Dallas Cowboys.
No, when I'm at the University of Pittsburgh at Johnstown, and my political science professor comes out and says, Jimmy Johnson's gone. And I said, what are you talking about? No, he's not. He just won two Super Bowls. No, they parted ways. I was like, that was my worst sports moment, and I'm never going to forgive him for that. And it's bizarre. And ever since then, it's been okay. And then Switzer won 2 years later with Jimmy's players. But I mean, it's been, a what show ever since.
Derek,
Well, show.
Derek, that team, I had this conversation the other day. That team was young still.
I know.
They weren't like all in their 30s or anything
So
like
we
that.
can't do any, as long as Jones is there, it's going to be difficult. But I mean, I would love them. Belichick going to North Carolina was completely bizarre to me how he went to North Carolina. But if there was still a way to, I don't know who they're going to get. But anyway, how exciting. I was a big proponent of this my whole life. Couldn't believe we didn't have playoffs before in college football, but how exciting. And I'm a Penn State fan, so that sucked for me. But because Aller decided to play his worst game of the year. But how exciting is the college football playoffs and these NFL playoffs? I mean, it's been really enjoyable and fun to watch.
All right, here's my prediction.
Go ahead.
Regarding Bill Belichick. I think this was all pre-planned, in my opinion. And Bill Belichick has an out clause.
Yes, he does.
He's going to coach the University of North Carolina for 1 year, and then they're going to hand the reins over to his son to become the head coach.
Yeah.
And guess where he's going to wind up? He's going to wind up the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, guaranteed after that. I think
they're not going to hire somebody for 1 year and get rid of them.
I think they may bring in an interim guy, just temporarily. See what happens, but it wouldn't shock me. It wouldn't shock
Zap,
me.
I think for the first time you might be onto something. I mean, I don't think he's going to leave without coaching the season. I think he's
coaches too long.
I think he's definitely
was amazing. I mean, he decided Vrabel's available, right?
Yeah.
He wanted Vrabel. He probably wanted to give Mayo another, a chance, but you're not going to take that chance on him any longer when Vrabel's available, and they wanted him badly.
I don't know if any of you caught. I don't know. You guys were all over the country.
I watched it.
Very impressive.
I thought he was great. It was
one of the best like press conferences of a new coach
awesome.
that I've ever seen.
Calvin, we're going to bring you in here. Are you a Dallas fan or what are you now?
It's fan all the way.
You are.
Who?
Yeah, 100%. That's why I think Gerard Mayo had to go. He was in over his head. I think Vrabel is an incredible hire, and I think the next thing you're going to see come down the pipeline is they're going to go get Josh McDaniel.
I think Josh McDaniel, and you know who would be the icing on the cake? If they could possibly work out bringing Josh in and then bringing Robert Saleh in from the Jets as the defensive coordinator, that is one hell of a coaching staff.
I've heard that he's high on Vrabel's list. Saleh,
is he?
Really?
Yeah, I've heard he's high on his list. And
I'd give
here's the
in
thing:
the world if you pulled those guys off.
With McDaniels, I'd have no issue with him because I'm sure. I mean, there's part of me that wants like a younger, more progressive guy, but you have
he's
to
not
think
that old, John.
He's not, but I mean, to me, he's kind of like a little old school. But you have to think that he's been following the NFL now and knows what he needs to do. And they have a guy to work with now in May. So, in the NFL, you get a good coach and you have a good draft. You can go from like 4 wins to 8 wins pretty quick. After that, it gets tougher, but they could actually turn this thing around pretty fast.
And that's the indictment on Jerry Jones. You have watched the Philadelphia Eagles literally ruin their franchise with Chip Kelly and that shit. Like, I thought they were done for 10 years.
A
couple years later, they win a Super Bowl.
Right.
The Redskins under Snyder.
Yeah.
They get a new coach.
Yeah.
A couple years later, draft Jaden Daniels.
Yep.
Next thing you know, here we are. They're playing in a divisional round. They go into Tampa and win. And they're going to play the Lions. I don't think they have a shot, but who knows?
They're there. They have a shot. Yeah.
They have a shot. And so Jerry Jones gets to watch these teams in his own division destruct and then rebuild, make the playoffs, and win.
Let me jump in on Dallas too, because here's the thing. And I put some of I look at the Celtics, the Bruins, the Cowboys, the Yankees, the teams that, like, if you're the owner or the powers that be with the Dallas Cowboys, you have the most wide-ranging fan base. You have the greatest facilities. Okay. He's been a great businessman, Jerry Jones. No one can take that away from him. You could almost trip over a Super Bowl win if you have the right football people in place, because you have everything in place to win there. The fact that he hasn't even been to a conference championship game.
He's the GM. He's right. Any other GM would have lost their job 8 times in the last 25 years.
It's an absolute joke.
He continues to be the GM.
Yeah.
And just because he picks a Micah Parsons, which is an obvious, he's picked some, with Zeke when Zeke was really good,
right.
As a rookie coming out. And yeah, he's made some good picks, but it's just he's not a good GM, and he's refusing to get rid of himself as GM because he's P.T. Barnum.
It's never going to happen. Yeah.
All right, listen, we're going to take an early break, and then we're going to come back because Bob Broadwater from Collectibles Insurance Services is going to be joining us. This is the time to make sure that your collection is insured. New year, we're going to talk to Bob, see if there's any new rates, what's going on. Hang in there, and we shall be right back, provided, I repeat, provided that I can hear the goddamn commercials.
Oh.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Curry, a 2-time child cancer survivor, recipient, and advocate for Lucy's Love Bus. The mission of Lucy's Love Bus, 501c3 nonprofit, is to provide joy, comfort, and quality of life for the entire family of children with cancer. Since 2006, they have delivered love and comfort to over 3,000 children with cancer and their family members across New England. The dream of Lucy Grogan, an 11-year-old cancer patient, was to help kids with cancer who are suffering right now, before there is a cure, by offering free integrative therapies like art, music, horseback riding, and many other activities. Unfortunately, Lucy passed away, but her dream lives on, and today Lucy's Love Bus is thriving.
I'm Red Sox Hall of Famer Rico Petrocelli. I hope that you'll consider supporting Lucy's Love Bus and all of those children who have been stricken by cancer. The Great American Collectibles Show is partnering with Lucy's Love Bus to help these kids. Let's continue Lucy's dream. Please go to lucyslovebus.org for more information.
Pristine Auction is a family-owned and operated online auction specializing in autographed memorabilia, sports cards, coins, art, and collectibles. Since their founding in 2010, they've grown to 2 facilities in Phoenix, Arizona, totaling over 60,000 square feet. Jared Cavalier and an incredible staff of over 150 team members serve a very large customer base and enjoy every minute of it. By working with leading authentication companies, Pristine ensures all items are 100% authentic. In addition, third-party authenticators regularly travel to Pristine Auction to provide authentication services on site. Pristine Auction strives to operate its business in a way that's honoring to God, their families, and their customers. With a strong focus on speed, quality, and premier customer service, their mission is to be the leading online auction for every level of collector and fan. Pristine also works for Hope Sports and Identity Hoops International, traveling to Mexico to build houses for the less fortunate. Pristine Auction offers several online auction formats with thousands of auctions ending each day. For more information, go to pristineauction.com. That's Pristine Auction, the best in the business.
If you are a discerning collector interested in owning the most important pieces in the hobby, look no further than Leland's Auctions. The original sports auction and appraisal house, Leland's was established in 1985 by legendary Pioneer founder Joshua Leland Evans. And today, President Mike Hefner carries on the tradition. From the Tom Brady card and memorabilia collection to the famed Boston Garden auction to high-end card auctions from every major sport, Leland's has always maintained the highest standards. Go to Lelands.com and get your bid in. That's Leland's, the hobby's leading sports auction house for 4 decades.
It's often been said that championships are won on the practice field, and world records come only to those willing to work harder than everybody else. Heritage Auctions is the world's largest collectibles auctioneer because we believe that becoming the best is only an invitation to the challenge of remaining the best. This requires the skills of the hobby's top experts, capable of identifying and maximizing value for our consigners. It requires the most visited website in the industry, courting a global audience of collectors over 1.5 million strong. It requires a dedicated press department that expands our global reach far beyond the entrenched hobby marketplace. It's hard work, but a simple premise. Present the finest collectibles to the largest population of potential buyers, and world records will come. We invite all listeners to put the unmatched power of Heritage Auctions to work for you. Auction evaluations are always free, and our commission-based fee structure ensures that our interests are always aligned. The highest possible price for your collectibles. There will always be new world records to chase, so let's chase them together. Visit our website at ha.com and request your no-obligation review today.
Hi, this is Dan from Memory Lane Auctions, here to remind you that the renowned Memory Lane Collectibles Company has served as a beacon of light to the collecting community for the past several decades. Indeed, folks, it has been our utmost privilege and pleasure to provide the most enthusiastic collectors with an abundance of the finest sports cards and memorabilia for America's most coveted sports personalities via our world-class auctions. Whether you choose either a private sale transaction or the auction route, Memory Lane cordially invites you to reach out to us to maximize the value of your prized possessions. Also, it is not just sales that we pride ourselves on being the best of the rest, because if you are seeking a particular keepsake for your esteemed gathering, we will be relentless in our quest to find that special piece to fulfill your collecting dreams. So no time to wait. Reach out to us today for the purposes of capitalizing on our unparalleled marketing capabilities. Simply pick up the phone and dial 877-606-5263. That's 877-606-LANE, or find us on the World Wide Web at www.memorylaneinc.com. Now is the time for your valued consignment to ultimately become another one of Memory Lane's record-setting prices.
Hey, I'm Mike Petroselli. If your company is looking for the best in marketing and promotional items, you'll hit a home run with Petroselli Marketing. With over 8,000 suppliers and 650,000 imprint-ready items, we can get your company the visibility it needs to get your maximum exposure. Whether it be office promotions, wearables, automotive, sports items, and everything in between, Petroselli Marketing can do it all. Our design staff will even work with you from concept to delivery and customize your products. At Petroselli Marketing Group, we will get your brand in front of your audience. Contact us at info@petrosellimkt.com or call us at 603-880-3202. That's Petroselli Marketing, where no dream is impossible.
So how does your company or organization do promotions? Imprinted products keeps your brand in front of your customers more than any other form of advertising. For the best on-time service and new ideas for your next project, give Petroselli Marketing Group a call at 603-880-3202 or email info@petrosellimkt.com.
Before we bring Bob in from Collectibles, why don't you tell our audience, JM, about Lucky's Winter Extravaganza?
You got it, Zap. It is the Winter Extravaganza, Lucky's Winter Extravaganza, the White Plains Card Show, Friday through Sunday, January 17th to the 19th at Westchester County Center, 198 Central Ave in White Plains, New York. Shop over 400 of your favorite hobby dealer tables on over 40,000 square feet of this sports collectibles paradise, vintage and modern-day sports cards and memorabilia. Major auction houses and third-party grading companies will be on hand to assist you with your collecting and authentication needs, including Beckett doing RCR and GCR grading. The Winter Extravaganza is family-friendly, and all kids 12 and under get in for free, but must be accompanied by a parent or guardian. All four major sports represented. Autographed guests to include Keith Hernandez, Darryl Strawberry, Rick Monday, Lawrence Taylor, Otis Anderson, Tyrone Tracy, John Taylor, Clinton Portis, Chris Chelios, Tim Thomas, the famed team of Hull & Oates, Brett Hull and Adam Oates, Latrell Sprewell, Larry Johnson, and many more. Go to LuckyCardShows.com for tickets and more information about the Winter Extravaganza at the Westchester County Center in White Plains, New York. That's LuckyCardShows.com.
Okay, let's bring in Bob, Bob Broadwater from Collectibles Insurance Services. I'm going to throw this out to both Calvin and Derek before we speak to Bob. Calvin, how important, and Derek, how important is insurance for the collectibles world? Calvin, you first.
Yeah, I mean, I think insurance is very important. I think if you have a valuable collection and you don't want to run the risk of something happening with that collection, I think having that collection insured to its value is incredibly important.
Derek?
I mean, I'm guilty of letting, and I think Bob probably has plenty of clients that do this. You just keep adding and adding and adding, and you never update, even though it's easy to update your insurance.
I've done that myself.
So it's very important to do that. We do it with our cars, we do it with our homes. So I would say it's extremely important, and it doesn't take that long. And I'm sure Bob's going to tell us how easy it is. And I actually need to call Bob. So, I've never talked to him before, but I do need to talk to him. So
Bob, do me a favor.
Yes.
Chat, whatever you guys charge him triple. I'm begging you, please. All right, Bob, let's talk. Everybody's been glued to the TV and to the media. There's been an absolute tragedy going on out in California with these wildfires. And I can't even imagine, forget the hobby and put that aside for a minute. Bob, what happens to insurance companies? I mean, are there insurance companies on the West Coast or wherever they are that are actually going to go out of business because of the claims?
Some small companies in events like this do unfortunately not have enough to stay in business. Even larger companies, it's a sizable hit. What's happening out there is awful. Our company, we sell business out there, not just for collectibles, for other things as well. We're seeing it now. We're talking to customers, and it's apocalyptic. It's terrible. We're obviously going to do everything we can for them, but it's just it's so quickly for many. It's just it's going to be a long rebuilding effort.
It's just mind-boggling, and I know, I was looking at the extensive coverage that you guys provide, and out of the 8 or 9 points, natural disasters come under the umbrella. What about stuff like if I send a card out and it gets lost in the mail, is that covered?
It is. So one of the attractive features of our product, we obviously cover your typical causes of loss: water, fire, theft. One of the other attractive features is damage while being shipped or in transit, lost in the mail. We do cover that.
John?
Bob, have you had to sort of become, and I don't know if you have any background in sports collectibles, if you're a sports fan or anything like that, but I suppose that you've had to become somewhat knowledgeable, maybe not to the extent of Derek and Calvin, maybe just to the extent of Zappala, like a basic knowledge, like almost a rudimentary remedial knowledge of sports collectibles and sports in general, so you can properly advise clients?
That's absolutely right. We have myself, but we also have a team of folks who specialize in different segments. Not only insure sports, we do things like art, antique, comic books, etc.
Yep.
But sports is our largest growing segment. It's been our largest segment for a number of years now. Trading cards, memorabilia. So yes, we've had to keep very close eye on this market. It's also where we've seen values continuously track up and move a lot in recent years. So just working with customers to understand what they have and understand the market for these items.
Hey, Bob, what about...
Go ahead. Mine's going to be better than Zap's.
Go ahead.
So the one thing you hear from a lot of people and why they don't have insurance is they're misinformed. Mm-hmm. Can you tell me, when you get a comprehensive policy, just pick a number for, say, $1 million, okay, where is the value limit where you don't have to list every $10, $500, $1,000 card? What do you require if somebody said, I want a blanket $1 million policy, I have a security system, I have a safe? Mm-hmm. What do you have to list? What do you have to schedule out?
We schedule any items that are individually worth 25,000 or more. Under that is blanket coverage for any individual items. And one thing I want to highlight is a typical homeowner's policy will cover little, if any, coverage for these types of items. They often, if they do provide coverage, depreciate the values. So it's certainly something that we fill that gap to keep coverage to its market value immediately prior to loss. And what we work with our customers on, keep us updated with the current values you have, and certainly by adding any scheduled items that hit those thresholds.
And you can simply email you, I would think. So if I won something in an REA auction, and it was over 25,000, I just email you what I won, and that gets added to the policy.
Exactly. That's simple.
And if that changes the premium, you just send me whatever the difference would be.
Yes.
But what are the premium? So the policies, where do you go from? I mean, let's just say a low number, 50,000 up to where is your? Do you have a limit?
We do. The vast majority of our policyholders are in that 50,000 to $1 million range. We do have a few larger dealers,
sure,
large accounts. We'll go as high as 10 million. That's certainly the exception, but we do have a few of our larger partners reach those limits.
I think. Can I jump, if you don't mind, Sal? Derek kind of alluded to something. I just want to pick up on that. Obviously, like let's say someone has a collection, they have insurance, collectors insurance. They go to an exhibition, a show of some kind. They buy something else. Is there a lot of, hey, I need to call Bob or my agent and add this to the policy? How does that work?
Yes, they can simply send us an email, message us online, letting us know what limit they now need based on recent purchases, and if any items need to be scheduled, just send us a note and we adjust the policy limit accordingly. It's pretty.
I think it's called a rider, right? Like people shipping, when you're going to ship something that's over X amount.
If it's a specific shipping, there is blanket shipping limits and transit limits built in. If it's above that, typically 50 or 60,000. If it's above that, then we'll add a rider for that specific shipment. Yes.
And I have been told, sorry, Zap, but
That's okay.
I'm still predicting what comes out of your mouth is not as important. So, I mean, I could be wrong. But anyway,
you're usually right about that.
Yeah, okay. No, honestly, I've been told recently by several major collectors that didn't have, your insurance, but had, I'm trying to think of some names of other companies that they just don't want to do it anymore. So you're definitely in a gap here where, do you have that much competition? Because I am not hearing anybody else really wanting to do it,
No, we don't have a lot directly targeting the hobbyist, this sector specifically, because it does require a niche skill set. Our underwriters are collectors themselves, and you really need to be able to underwrite the policy well. You really need to be able to understand what it is you're insuring.
Hey, Bob, do you exhibitions?
Yes.
All right. Would you cover an entire exhibit at a particular show for an individual above and beyond, like a special coverage for whatever that display is?
Yes, we'll temporarily endorse a policy for the transit coverage, which covers them at an exhibition, as long as it's within our guidelines and not amount beyond which we can offer coverage for. Yes, we write that, particularly during show season. It's something we see a lot of.
Hey, Bob,
go ahead.
One of the other questions that I think collectors come up with is, how do you guys handle rare items, like an item that maybe hasn't sold in 5 or 10 years, and getting values where the comparisons might be incredibly difficult to compare a very rare item?
We do. Obviously, a lot of what we see is not items that unique, where we are able to easily identify comparables in recent auctions, et cetera. For that really unique item, if we can't find something, we'll work with the insured about how are they getting to that value. Is it the amount they recently paid or bid on it? They have support for that. That's sufficient. If it's not something paid for, that gets a little tricky, but we'll do the best we can to have the insured provide evidence of those values or point us where there might be something.
So can you deny? So if somebody comes to you, and you know how, and Calvin, we come across this all the time in our business. where somebody wants to, they talk about, hey, what do you think this is worth? And the thing is literally worth 20 grand, but they think it's worth $250,000.
Yeah.
Okay. And so what do you do there when somebody just wants to, just because it's rare or one of a kind doesn't make it $250,000. How do you, when somebody wants to insure something that you just know your gut says, or your expert you consult with says, no, I'm not writing the policy. Is that basically what you don't do? You just
That
don't
is
write
exactly what happens. And once in a while, we do see that. If we have, or the number we're getting to is nowhere close, and they can't support a number north of that, we'll say, this is where we're at. Anything else can be supported. This is what we'll write it to, or just to deny the option to add it. I would say we don't see much of that, but it does come up.
What is the percentage? Because I know a lot of collectors are also, I guess, for lack of a better word, part-time dealers, so to speak. So, if you have a collection that you're insuring for, let's say, $1 million, but a guy is, a guy is shipping, he could have $100,000 or $200,000 card within that collection. What is the shipping insurance limit? Is a percentage of the overall
Good question.
policy?
For dealers, yes, it's typically 10% of their overall limit. That being said, they can individually add a rider for an individual shipment that is north of that amount. We'll write it specific for that shipment. For the collectors, it's lower, and it varies based on the shipping method used, but there is some built-in coverage. Same thing applies. They need an individual shipping rider. They can have that.
I'm sorry. So the amounts, anything over that, then it sounds like you could just add a rider to cover that shipment.
We'll need the details for anything over those shipping sublimits to, we'll underwrite it individually, essentially is what happens, to understand the tracking and, endpoints to make sure we have that on record.
All right, Bob, what is your address, email address for people to get in touch with you?
Yeah, just search for us online, Collectibles Insurance Services or collectinsured.com. Our team's always happy to chat about your collection and help you get the coverage you need.
Well, I'm happy what you guys do for me. So that being said, great talking to you. And we'll talk to you definitely before the National.
I'll be in touch.
Right.
You'll get some business out of this.
Take care.
Yeah, I'm endorsing them.
Be good.
Bye now.
Bob Broadwater.
Thanks, Bob.
Let's see. I can't come back to the Zoom. You want to hear?
What is he doing right now?
This is riveting radio.
I was reading something from my producer. We're going to wrap it up. We got about 2 minutes to go. Derek, seriously, man, we're glad you're back with us.
I'm glad to be back. I mean, I'm not dead yet. That's what I just keep telling people.
Derek, I say this, not a lot of nice things come out of my mouth, but you're on your game, bro. This was great.
He wasn't. Listen. He wasn't that good.
Listen.
He was okay.
Dude was on his game today.
Wow.
Calvin.
Yeah,
Calvin.
I'm back.
I think it's the first time I've been on with Calvin. I think so.
It's good.
You're on your game. Two fantastic guests today, for sure.
Hey,
we wanted to boost the ratings.
If you guys mind me talking about, just want to let everybody know that our January auction's open.
Yeah.
Closes this Sunday, the 19th. Initial bids need to be placed by 9 p.m. If you want to register, go to bid.collectrea.com. And our consignment deadline for the spring catalog auction is coming up in a few weeks. So anybody that wants to consign some items, reach out to info@collectrea.com.
All right, my man. Again, thanks for coming aboard. REA Auctions, Heritage Auctions, Brian Dwyer, Calvin, this guy here, Derek.
Forgot your name, Derek.
Grove, Joe O,
Joe
Chris
O,
Ivy,
yeah.
the whole gang. We love you guys. Johnny, have a great
buddy.
week. Oh,
You too,
by the
buddy.
way, hold on. Wait, before we leave. Derek, did you know that next week and the week after, my friend here is going to be in Aruba with his squeeze?
I believe that.
Yeah.
He's smart.
I think that's pretty cool.
Before she wakes up.
He
Okay.
asked
Before
me
she wakes up.
Derek asked me before the show if I caught her at like a weak moment.
Well,
in her life.
the only thing I have a concern about is he's the only guy in Aruba that's staying at the Red Roof Inn.
There's people missing over there too. So hopefully Mallory doesn't go missing. I just have to deal with that. But one quick note, we did have to move. We obviously have our first auction of the year. We have our January catalog that was scheduled to end, in the next week. We're actually pushing that back because of the weather and delays with the catalogs. We're going to announce that today, that it's actually going to be ending the 31st and the 1st of February. and that is simply because we wanted everybody to get their catalogs in time, where it didn't come out at the last minute. And sometimes we don't do it often, but weather delays in Dallas shuts down when there's weather, and that obviously, so we have to extend the auction a week. So that will be ending the 31st and the 1st of February. So just wanted to get that in there.
They're really
Okay, boys.
extending the auction because they want to make sure Derek's in the office, because otherwise the bids don't come.
They didn't know whether I was going to, again, surgery's on the 22nd. So
Right.
Listen, we're wishing you the best.
Thank you.
Keep in touch, and all kidding aside, Godspeed.
Absolutely, brother.
All right,
Thank you, guys.
this is a wrap. Calvin, thanks for coming aboard. Big D, thanks for coming. JM, we love you. To our viewers and
Love
listeners,
you too, bro.
thank you to all three of those viewers that Derek says are out there.
I think we're at 8. I think 8.
7, 5. Okay, we got the numbers. We're thrilled. That's pretty
They're
good.
going to go up after this show. So,
All right. With that being said, happy collecting.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.